I'm Travis Weaver, and you're listening to the Good People Project.
All right, man, you ready to rock?
Let's do it.
All right, Carl Cannon, welcome to the Good People Project. It's so good to have you. So I was telling you just before this, I've kind of stepped back from doing this. I haven't done one for a while. But when I had an opportunity to interview you, I was all over it. And I got to tell you, when I was growing up, so I was born in 92, you were like the coolest guy to come in to do our school assemblies. I mean, I remember being like a seventh grader, and I would have told you the coolest people were like Michael Vick, Peyton Manning, Carl Cannon.
Get out of here.
You roll into the school, and first of all, being a man coming into a school, there's not a lot of men around middle schools. There's not a lot of jacked 6'2" guys walking around middle schools, and there weren't a lot of jacked black 6'2" guys coming into Dunlap Middle School. So it's assembly day. Carl Cannon's there. We walk in, not really sure what's going on, and boom, you're like right at it. You're getting the kids set straight. And I actually have a story. Well, I remember a couple things. Number one, we would do the called response. Yeah. What's respect? Two-way street from me to you, you to me. Like, it's been 20 years since you told us that.
You were a good student. You were a good student.
Well, I might have been okay, but I crossed you one time because you were doing this thing where it was like, raise your hand if you're going to get a good job. Raise your hand if you're going to get good grades. And I still don't know what you said. You said, like, raise your hand if you're going to mouth off. I don't know what you said. I raised my hand because I was like, we're raising our hands around here. And you were like, me and my best friend raised our hand. You two, you think you're tough guys. You think that you're, and I'm like, oh, we're not supposed to raise our hands. Man, I crossed Carl Cannon. So I don't remember. I to this day I have no clue what you said. Though I raised my hand because I didn't know what you said.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I wanted first of all start atoning by being selfish in your assembly and raising my hand when I wasn't supposed to.
You're good, Travis. I probably didn't know what I was doing. I was trying. I was trying to get somebody so that I could say to the majority. You don't want to be on the wrong side of me.
You don't want to be this guy.
And I set you up probably. I'm still at it.
So I was born in 92, and we had you a couple times. My wife was born in 97. You were still doing it then. So I'm guessing people 80s through the 90s. I mean, you probably got a full generation of people who you went into school to talk to them, all Greater Peoria.
No question. And I just, full disclosure, I did an assembly last year, a full school assembly. So I'm still at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's relevant. It's not probably the same way I approached it when you were in school, no doubt. The session I did last year was on bullying. It was at Reservoir. And, where it's needed, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And just yesterday, I'm at church, and I'm part of the safety team at my church. So I'm down in the youth area, and I see some horseplay, and I got to be me. And, of course, I told my wife, I said, I don't know how the pastor felt, but I stopped it. I'm going to be me. It is, I know that every fight I've ever witnessed, it starts with horseplay.
Yeah.
And I explain to young people that horseplay is not just running, chasing, and play fighting. It starts when the tongue moves and a negative comes off that tongue. Mm-hmm. Because when you use a negative off the tongue, the recipient of that, their feelings get hurt. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to get in front of that. If you I'm going to use your tongue, use it to get a smile on the recipient across from you.
So we talked about what respect is, two-way street from me to you, you to me. You taught me a couple of definitions here today. A friend. What's the definition of a friend?
Well, a friend, a real friend, will be an upgrade to you. An equal is not a real friend. You and I are friends. You should provide me with an upgrade, something that's going to make me better than the person that I am. I should walk away from you feeling like, yeah, I'm better than I was 5 minutes ago. That's a true friend.
Yeah, not an enabler, but somebody that provides
No,
accountability.
no. If we're going to be the same, then, I mean, that's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
So you look for somebody that can grow you, not lessen you. I don't know if that made sense,
Yeah.
but you want somebody that can grow you forward, that can make you feel better, not minimize you.
Yeah. How about tone? Tell me about tone.
Well, parents have to set tone. When you come into my school, there's a tone. And a tone is the environment. In our environment, it's set for learning. I want it clear that it is set for learning, growing, not for anything but. So I set a tone, not just for students, but for staff. Staff have to understand that you are an extension of me. So if you minimize that tone, you've essentially minimized who I am and what I stand for. I want to grow people. And you don't get to minimize what we get to do, which is grow.
Yeah. And I'm sure, Carl, you're a big teddy bear man. If people don't like your tone, they just stick around. There's a place for everybody, or no?
No. No. I am, well,
You're not a teddy bear man. You're telling me you're the grizzly bear.
I am a grizzly. But you can work me.
Yeah.
I see success, you working me. You can wrap me around your little finger if you want to. How you do that, you try being successful. And a success doesn't mean you have to be an A student. You got to be giving an A effort.
Mm-hmm.
Effort is everything in our world. We just want to see you give that educator, that minister, effort.
Yeah.
That's what good Lord gave us all, the ability to try.
Yeah. Yeah. And you were also telling me about love. And I like the way you explain it because I think it's in Ephesians. They talk about that love is the balance of truth and grace.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you got too much truth, man, you can just be a battering ram. But you gotta have gray. And you take kids from wherever they're at. You meet them where they're at. You give them the truth, but you're gonna give them a hand up to help them out as long as they're willing to participate in what you got to offer.
Yeah. It's like choices.
Mm-hmm.
You love them enough to not exactly, you don't tell them what they want to hear. You tell them what they need to hear. That's parenting too. Now that might make you unpopular, but that's okay because if you tell them what they need to hear, they'll grow into it.
Mm-hmm.
Being unpopular for a minute gives them potentially a lifetime. I don't want to be your friend. I want to be someone that can grow you. That's real love.
Mm-hmm.
A consequence early
Set
is
the tone.
better than a consequence late.
Yep.
Because too many are saying it's too late.
Yeah.
What is that, too late? It's not, because grace. God gave us grace, but how dare we take advantage of that when we know a better way, right?
So before we get too far, let's tell folks a little bit about what you got going, what's Elite. Maybe give them just a the 30-second overview that will kind of frame our conversation of what your impact is.
Well, I'm having fun right now. I got some data, so I'm a data guy. No, I'm not, but what I'm doing right now, I'm just going to turn this thing off. We're doing summer school for 8th graders that blew it. And I was mad at them, when I met them. These kids, 8th graders from all over the city, did not get to go to their 8th grade graduations in 11 different buildings around the city. So they were sent to me.
Yeah. And you're telling me summer school is crisis school. If you're coming to summer school as an 8th grader, it's because you're in crisis. And it's now is the chance you got to turn your life around, or else you were telling me the data says you're going to be in jail or shot.
Yeah. Prison or cemetery. That's how much of a crisis this is. If you don't get to high school on time, the data says you're going to go to jail, prison, or you're going to be buried way before your time. So we sent out our game changers. Game changers are experts, subject matter experts on messing up. A game changer is someone, an adult now, who's been there, done that, regrets that. That means they've been in the system. Now they work for me. They've been vetted hard. But they go and do home visits with these 8th graders. And they're saying to these 8th graders, men and women, these men and women are saying to these 8th graders, you don't want to be me. I'm an old fool. You're a new fool. But you got time to correct it. Now you are blessed with an opportunity. You get to go to summer school. Now no kid wants to hear that. But you get to go to summer school we'll call it recovery. So they're saying this in front of the kid and the parent and or guardian, whoever's there that's in charge of this child. And they all get to come to a session with Carl Cannon. The one that made you raise your hand, I'm sorry about that today. Because look at you.
Yeah, I was on a bad path, man, and you got me straightened out in that assembly.
I don't even believe that. But that's what I better be doing, is growing someone that's on the right path. That's really what I should be doing. Anyway, these kids come to an orientation. I did it June 2nd, Saturday morning. I think that was Saturday morning. And I told them, you blew it. You got one opportunity to get it right. But if you think I'm going to play with you, and I'm doing this in front of their parents, if you think I care who you're here with, I do. But not so much that I won't kick you out of here. That's the tone. I'm not your toy. My last name is Cannon, not Tonka. So don't look at me like I'm the next version of a toy that you think you're going to get to play with. You already blew it. I'm hope for you, but only if you're going to make a choice to accept it. And it's not going to be on your terms. No, it's on ours. And I'm talking for the game changers and this old prison guard. Every one of them accepted. Sign the contract. The parents sign a contract saying how they're going to help me. The students sign a contract saying, I'm down with your rules. I'm good with your rules. Don't lie to me. Because if you lie, I can't help you. If I can't trust you, I can't help you. I won't let you water down what everybody else in that classroom's doing. I got some data on Friday, sir. I'm giddy right now because the data said, well, all the students are on a district program called IXL. They have to do math every day with me, and they're doing ELA, English Language Arts. It picks them up on their level. This is a district database, and it told me that these students who were failing across the board, their profile, They have completed 892 lessons to 80% proficiency. 30% of these students have mastered these lessons, saying they're at the 9th grade level already. They'll go to high school in August ahead of their peers. Mm-hmm. Now, this is not us giving them the answers. It's teaching them how to take notes, teaching them how to do homework, teaching them how to ask for help, the right people for help, mm-hmm. teaching them what a friend is, mm-hmm. somebody that'll elevate them, not somebody that's an equal. Get out of your neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Find someone that'll grow you. Might be a game changer mm-hmm. for you in your life.
So this summer you started with 21.
Yep.
Here you are 2 weeks in at 17.
17. Why 17? Because I fired 4 for lying.
Yeah. How many will be back?
We're going to have all 17 graduate this Thursday.
But of the 4, how many of them do you think were playing games, thought that you wouldn't kick them out, and now their mom's saying you better get your butt back in there because you're going to end up in a cemetery if you don't?
I'm praying all 4 of them.
Yeah.
We'll seek another opportunity.
Yeah. But to the other 17, I think you owe it to them to get those 4 kids out because they're trying to take care of themselves.
Well, you can't water down what the majority are doing. They know, those 17 know who's real and who's not. And how do you say to the majority that these are the rules, and then they watch those in the minority break those rules, and they don't get a consequence? Mm-hmm. I won't do it. Mm-hmm. I will not do it. We got to grow who was in that minority. We got to show them right is right, wrong is wrong. Mm-hmm. And you got to mean what you say and say what you mean. Mm-hmm. And I won't lie to them.
Yeah.
I won't be that version of the next lie.
Yeah. You got a tough job, obviously, and you take the toughest kids. As I was thinking about what to ask you about today, I called our friend Hetty Elliott. And I just said, hey, what should I ask him about? She said, well, one thing just to say about Carl, I'll tell you exactly what she said. Carl works with the toughest kids. We all know that. She said, people can complain about your methods, and maybe some people do. Maybe they think you're too tough on kids. But her ask to them is, well, what are you doing about it? Are you trying? Are you helping the toughest kids? Because she says, I've sent him a lot of kids, and I've never once had him say no to a kid, even the toughest kids. Oh. And I think that's remarkable because, everybody wants to be, the big brother type that helps a kid who's an easy kid, and you go watch movies together and you feel good about yourself because you're spending time with a low-income kid that doesn't have a dad. Everybody wants that kid.
Yeah.
When the kids that you're with come around, people get alligator arms, man. People don't want to deal with. I'm sure you got good kids in the 21 that are just decent kids that are misguided, but you generally take the toughest kids.
Well, every child that we get in the safe school and the summer school, they have to make a choice. I give them me. Mm-hmm. And they got to decide, do I want to do this? Do I not? So it's about choices. Mm-hmm. And just like that amazing teacher you just mentioned, Hetty, she's phenomenal. If you can't learn from someone like Hetty, then you're making choices and you can't understand the other side of that. Just Friday, I was sharing with you, it broke my heart, but this is a reality. The other side is 90 years that young man got. He just turned 18, and he will give 90 years of his life to the system. I came out of that system. I'm not a bleeding heart. Mm-hmm. You made some choices. Now, I point to that young person who's considering not coming along with me, and I'll show him or her the other side. Which one are you going to pick?
Mm-hmm. So did you grow up in Taft?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yep, and spent some time in Warner.
Yeah.
So I lived in the hood.
Yeah.
You know what? I've been overseas too because I served in the military. So I've been to Korea, I've been to Europe, and because I've been somewhere else, I really appreciate this country. I love this country because when I went overseas and I got to see some more other geography,
Yeah.
there's no place like this one because here, no matter your place, you got access to education. And education can change your status, except what you might have to do is what you haven't done. This is why I tell young people, what you haven't done maybe something Carl Cannon had a problem with when he was growing up. Going into a classroom, instead of sitting in the back, sit your behind up front. Sitting in the back, you miss a fraction of a second of what the teacher or even the preacher was saying. You don't know that you didn't miss it because you're in the back. Sit up front. And when you get there, when you sit there, do what I had to learn. Sit there, shut up, and listen. Because God gave you two gifts called ears. Get as close to the power source as you can possibly get. The teacher or the preacher.
So you've been doing this for 30, 40 years probably.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you got some favorite turnaround stories. So I'd love to just hear some of your favorite success stories where you get somebody from the wrong track onto the right track. And of those stories, what can we learn as a society for how to raise up our young people?
Well, there's a lot of stories in my life, but there's one young man. This is going to be one of an adult who turned around. He's still with me today, but he came out of the system after doing 30-something years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this
So
man.
he's a game changer.
Yeah, he's a serious game changer. And I'm not going to use his name, but this young man spent 30 years. He said he did 5 different, they call them bits. You go in, you come out, you go in, you come out, you go in, you come out. Well, he came out this last time, and he said, I was tired. And his version of being tired is different than ours. We're civilians. So when we say we're tired, it means we need a pillow. Well, his version is being sick and tired of being tired. This young man really came out this time, and he was tired of that lifestyle. So when he came out, he refused to come out of his house because he knew if he came out of his house this time, he'd go back into that lifestyle. He said his PO brought him a letter, and the letter was from an organization called Elite. And the letter, he had heard about Elite while he was locked up in the federal system. He said the letter invited him to a reentry program. And he said because he'd heard something about Elite, he decided to attend. And he said, some advice I shared. He said, when I went to this reentry class, while I was in the Park District, he said, I sat up front. And he said, I did my homework. And he said, every time CO asked a question, I had the answer. He said, I answered the questions so many times that they told me to stop putting my hand up, to kind of shut up and let somebody else start answering questions. Well, today this young man is my senior game changer. He's kind of on medical status, so he's still on the wayside, but he's almost around every day. And he's almost like a son to me today. But he's been out so much that he was supposed to be on paper, a probation, 10 years. But he went before his federal judge. And the judge took 6 years of probation off of his sentence because he has given so much back, saved so many young lives in this community. He had a letter from a local high school principal. He had a letter from a middle school principal. And he had a letter from me just saying how much he had given back to this community. And we call that the date that will live in infamy, because he went before that judge and he couldn't believe, he was tongue-tied when the judge said, you have to go to parole no more. And that's his date that will live in infamy.
Yeah.
And I use that when I go into the county jail and I talk to inmates.
Yeah.
You never know where your help's going to come from.
Yeah. So I think you're known in the community for the things that you do, maybe what I'll say pre-prison or preventing getting into prison. But I think maybe some of the things that warm your heart the most are the things that you've done for people after prison.
Well, it's kind of like COVID.
Yeah.
If you've ever been in the system and you stop somebody, a game changer, from going in the system, it's contagious. You do that once and you want to do it again and again and again. So to help someone, intercept someone that's headed in that direction, these eighth graders, it's like red licorice. That's my favorite candy, Twizzlers. You have one piece, you can't stop with just one. You got to have more. And that's like when you save a life from that, you just got to do it again.
Yeah.
And I think we have a concept here that plays in Peoria, Senator, that we ought to share. I mean, because there's returning citizens, that's what I refer to them, all over the country.
Yeah.
And if we could find a good that they could do instead of that recidivism, I think we got a solution that the whole country could use.
So I know you do some fundraising. You do the turkey trot. That's for elite.
Yes.
But what are your funding sources for the program?
Well, we do a CJA. That's a large funding source, Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority. And we do a contract with our school district. We run the Safe School, the alternative school for middle school kids, 7th, 8th, and 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. Those are our primary funding source. And I'm operationally truly engaged in those. So I don't do a ton of fundraising. We're trying to move into a new building. It's on the corner of Main and North Street, or 100 Northeast Randolph. Did I say it right? Yeah. So we're going to come to you out there soon because we got to get in there. We have a capacity in our current location at Tree Wind of 50, and we are at capacity right now before school even starts. So if we can get into our new location at Randolph, which was gifted to us by OSF, we'll double that capacity and we'll be able to help more kids. And that's what the need is right now. We liken ourselves in that location. You know, you got Carl and you got OSF and you got the University of Illinois, you know, School of Medicine. So it's Hospital Hill. And that's what I like in what we're going to be. We're a hospital. And we triage young people individually and then get them repaired and get them right back to their home schools.
Yeah. How can, I'm sure there's thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people like me experience you for a day or two, lost track of you over the years of what you're up to, but respect you and want to support you. How can somebody like that, I mean, is there like donation on the website if they want to financially support Elite?
We just rebuilt our website. And thank you for asking. Yeah, we can use dollars and we can get into that building. So I'll be knocking on some doors here soon, and I'll be asking. I'm not really good at that, so I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. You know, I'm better at barking than I am whining. I got to learn to whine a little bit.
It doesn't work when you bark at the donors. But
No.
Maybe some. So I wanted to ask you something because, so as a state legislator, one thing that I really struggle with is, well, I have a passion for education. It's one of my top 4 platform priorities. But it's hard to say what the solution is because somebody will say, oh, you care about education. What should we do? Well, what we should do is get dads in households for kids, are we going to do more after school programs, more smart boards, smaller class sizes? All these things are just around the periphery. To me, the problem is the dads in the households, and the government can't get the dad in the household. The government can spend more on school, but if we go from 20,000 a student to 25,000 a student, or 30,000 a student, but you still don't have the dad in the household, what difference is it? So I'm going to ask you a question about that. What would your message be to, I think there's 3 different groups: teachers and administrators, parents, lawmakers, because I'm sure, the message to dads is get your butt in the house, but if they're not going to, they're not going to. So the people that are eager to listen, I think are probably those 3 groups: educators, lawmakers, parents, maybe single mom that's still around. Because I don't have the solution. Because the solution is dads.
Yeah, it is.
What would you say to that question?
Well, there is a shortage of fathers. Yeah. We all know that. And it's no accident that most of my team is men.
Yeah.
Because of that shortage.
Yeah.
And teachers are the solution.
Mm-hmm.
So when I refer to game changers, they are, for me, glorified teachers' aides. Mm-hmm. They can't replace teachers. Mm-hmm. We can't do the math, the ELA, the science, the social studies. But what we do, and myself included, is we back up our educators. Mm-hmm. That's what we're the best at. We will do the home visits. We'll be portable snitches that back up that mom, because so many of our households are single parent. So we will be snitches.
Yeah, you were telling me, we're looking at the data for your kids of how much they were accomplishing each week. Yeah. And in week 1, the kid with the lowest hours jumped to be one of the kids with the highest hours. I said, Carl, what happened to this kid? He said, he probably got snitched on by his game changer.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah.
We will snitch, and we'll have a problem going into those, let's say it, disadvantaged neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Because, let's think about our educators. Our youngest teachers are probably going to be in our most difficult neighborhoods, in those buildings, because our senior educators can go pretty much where they want to. Yeah. They've earned the right to. So we're going to put game changers where we can keep those educators who are probably being disrespected the most. So it's not an accident that we put game changers where we need to get the respect from those kids to those folks who can make a living doing something else. So we got to keep those educators, because that's the only chance we have, is to keep our educators educating.
Yeah. And we were talking about definitions. Another one, you're telling me the definition of a parent. Yeah. And if you got a good parent, the game changer is there to be an extension of that parent.
We're going to be an extension.
Right? You got mom who's doing her best, but sometimes you need the carrot and the stick, and the game changer can be the stick.
We're back up.
But you also got times where maybe they don't have a good parent. And so, the game changer, not a parent, the best case scenario is always a parent, but you're going to do what you can with what you got.
Well, you're in my office, and I had a parent and student in here about a year ago, and my game changer's in here that knows the family, the household, and I had the parent had this game changer tell me in front of the parent that the student is allowed to curse at the parent or curse in the parent's household at the parent. And I told that student, you're not allowed to curse. I don't care who told you it's okay to curse. I said, no, it's not. And I said, in front of the parent, You don't get to curse. I said, you get certain words that you are authorized to use. And I said, you're going to say them with me right now. And so we went through our mantra. Please, thank you, you're welcome. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yes, sir, no, sir. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Help me. I have, I can, I will be elite. Am I understood? The young lady said, yes, sir. I said, and no other words are authorized by you. Am I clear? She said, yes, sir. Now, if that gets undone, then I will tell a parent, ma'am, I use the words, I will use the alphabet on you if you force me to. And she'll look at me, she said, alphabet? Oh, yeah, DCFS. Because that's not healthy for this child to survive in this world. Now, if you're going to teach her the wrong side of this system, I will tell on you. I'm a snitch. Yeah. But you got to have that honest dialogue.
Yeah.
Or who's going to set it straight? And the child's got to hear the right side of it somewhere. I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't say anything illegal, and I won't say anything immoral. No, sir. I answer to God. I'm not worried about. No. It's all good, sir.
So your game changers. What's next for them? I mean, they come out, they're doing their parole, they're helping you. Is that a career for them, or is that a stepping stone to do something else?
We pay a livable wage.
Yep.
They have access to a health care package. I'm working on an even better health care package. They don't even know it. We'll have professional development. I'm going to give them some good news. So, yeah, I want to make this where it works better for them. I don't want them to have to hustle to get a second job. I don't. I want this to be, as we said earlier, equivalent to a glorified teacher's aide. I want this to be a norm in the public school system. Instead of going out, you ought to have someone that you can, if you got a difficult urban school, then you ought to have someone that can help you handle that urban parent that's going to walk through that door that can relate to why they're that way.
How about, so let's say you're sitting here with a parent and they're engaged, they want to do a good job, problem kid, maybe he's not bad enough to come to you yet, but they're just struggling to get the kid back on track. What advice would you give that parent about what they need to do at home?
That's most parents.
Yeah.
They just don't know what else to do. And that parent, we're going to look at the whole picture. When you do a home visit, it's not just to go. It's to gather intelligence. What else is going on? How many siblings? Where's this child in the pecking order? What's the child's role? There's usually something driving the behavior. How can I help this parent? I serve on the ICC Board of Trustees. We have that amazing vocational program. Part of those vocational concepts are career for somebody else. So maybe that's the umbrella that we find for that parent or that older sibling who's not doing anything. Maybe that's a lane that we can guide that parent or that older sibling. Maybe when you do that and they say, oh, wow, they're helping here or they're helping here, then it feels holistic.
I wondered if you might say parents that are enablers, you know, and that they just love their kids and they think that love manifests as second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chance. And they always trust their kids when they shouldn't trust their kids? I mean, is that an issue?
Yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah.
Every child that comes through the safe school, I'm looking at the parent in two categories. You just said one of them. Is that parent an enabler, or is it a partner?
Mm-hmm.
Most are going to fall into the category of partner. You got to make that hard decision.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Most are going to be a partner. They just don't know what else to do.
Mm-hmm.
But when you run into an enabler, then you got to
And they probably don't know they are. I mean, they just think they're loving their kid and they want to have his or her back. And
Yep.
sometimes you're going to fight this battle on
and
your
you got
own.
to be honest and tell them. And if they don't want the advice, one of the worst things that ever happened to us as a country is also one of the best things, in my opinion. COVID. Why was COVID one of the best? Because our kids got tired of their living rooms. So in my position, when rare times when I got an enabler and they just don't want to, take them with you.
Mm-hmm.
Take them home with you. Because if you're going to undo everything we're going to try to do, I'm not going to let one minimize the entire building.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to endorse you sending them back to the current building to minimize that. So you do the living room with yours. And when that's not working for you, you come back. But it's going to be on our terms, not on yours. And then you say, how's that working for you? And they come back, and then it's on our terms.
Yeah. Are you able to witness your faith very much with these kids, or is it mostly academic?
I wear it,
yeah,
and I tell them why I do this. I serve, and I serve as a good and faithful
with
servant.
the King.
Mm-hmm. And I don't apologize for that. I don't preach, but I don't
know that we need to. You know, that's one thing I've really grown, I think, as a Christian is, you know, I used to be nervous about witnessing because I thought it meant like, I got to go find somebody and tell them John 3:16, right? Like, if I'm witnessing, I'm going all in. And now I find that witnessing is just saying, hey, how was your weekend? It was great, man. We had an awesome church service. Yeah. Hey, how's your married life? So good, man. I love that me and my wife get to pray together. You know,
Amen.
Witnessing isn't always like, let me tell you about the man on the cross. Witnessing is just, let me express to you my faith and why I believe it.
Who I am.
If you want to respect me, then you're like, you know what, that guy's got it figured out. I'm gonna check out what he's selling.
You know, thank you for that. Because tomorrow I'm having a parent-student lunch at the school, and I will share with them. We're going to have graduation with the students at Riverside Church in the sanctuary. I'm going to put every student on those big screens, and they're going to be in a cap and a gown in the house of God.
I love it.
You know, and they can scream and holler and return.
Yeah.
But I'm having a video made. Tony and I met with our videographer yesterday, and it's a gospel piece. And I'm bringing my choir back, and we're going to do a 2-night overnight at a campground to get them locked in.
Yeah.
I'm going to get I usually do it at Christmas, but now we're going to do it year round. We're going to bring that choir back, and we usually, at Christmas time, take them all over the community.
Yeah.
But now we're going to get them back together, and we're going to take them a 2-night overnight camp. City Kids Camp is we're going to use that campground outside Canton, and we're going to bring that choir, and we do gospel.
I love it.
gosh, they're powerful too. But these kids don't know each other initially. But we got some that we've been together for 2 years now, and we're going to bring some news. Some of them from this 8th grade group that want to join the choir, and it's a dance troupe too. So this is going to be so amazing.
Well, I love it, man. It's been a pleasure to sit with you. I love just sit with you and see you light up when you talk about it. You've been doing this for a generation, and it still gets you going, and you can still just see the joy it brings to you. So I wish we had 100 more just like you, but we got one, and he's the one and only. So thank you, man.
Thank you for having me.
All right, appreciate you, brother.
God bless you, sir.
All right.
I'm Travis Weaver, and you're listening to the Good People Project.